Yup! What's happening? Welcome to show 444, I think it is. 444. We're just chilling here in the beach. Take a look at the view. Stunning view. And we are, well, I am getting ready for a holiday next week. I am mentally, emotionally, and physically shattered. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Anyway, today we're going to talk about flexible planning. This is something that I'm kind of like delving into at the minute. I've been so rigid with my planning and trying to stay with the same routine for quite a long time that I've been having to move things around a little bit, and I think I just wanted to talk about that because it might be beneficial to you. So we'll get into it. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Bourman, and if you are coming through, then please do let me know in the comments here. Talk about your planning. Do you have flexible planning? Are you pretty strict on your planning? Do you have no planning? Let me know what you think, okay? So, just for notice, there's going to be no Rise to Thrive shows for 2 weeks, okay? So this is the last one that we're doing, and then we are back in a couple of weeks. It will be Monday 2 weeks, and I will tell you the date. It will be 21st. So we're back on the 21st of August, okay? Okay, let's talk about flexible planning. So I was just talking with my friend about this as well. We were talking about never having enough time to do what we need to do in our professional life to get done what we need to do, right? So it becomes really frustrating. It becomes really frustrating in terms of, man, I didn't quite get that job done because I've set this set routine and I'm now going into my personal space. But the problem is, when you're on that personal space, you're thinking about the work that you didn't get done. Now, I've always been rigid for like, these are your time slots, this is what's happening. And I've kind of got like an 18-month goal now, which is part of my 10-year vision. Okay, part of my 10-year mission. And so by the end of next year, I want to hit a certain target. So to do that, I have to be able to put the work in. I have to do a couple of extra hours. I have to like sacrifice that sturdy schedule or structure that I've always had in my life. And I would call this flexible planning. And I've experimented. If you've been following me on Instagram, I've experimented a little bit this week. And Monday I did a 13-hour day. Wednesday I did a 13-hour day. And the reasons that I was doing that was because obviously when you're going on holiday, you want to get everything out of the way and everything done right. But what I figured is that those 2 big days there, they were just big days. And on those days I kind of sacrificed jiu-jitsu. I wasn't well to be able to do it anyway. And I pretty much missed the kids going to bed. And I couldn't do that all of the time because I love putting the kids to bed and I love jiu-jitsu. But it's kind of, the way that I look at it is in terms of that flexible planning, is that maybe 1 week I go all in and do loads and loads and loads and loads of work. Maybe at the start of the month where you feel like you've got right ahead of the week here, I'm going to do 2 or 3 12, 13, 14-hour shifts, like on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And then for the rest of the month, I'm going to be absolutely normal. And we were saying that it's such a need, it's such a must, especially if you work for yourself, especially if you're in a position that demands a lot from you. But you can't sustain that all of the time. Do you know what I mean? You can't go like, I'm going to do 13, 14-hour days, 3 days a week for the rest of your life. It's like when I came back on the Monday and Wednesday, I was like, that's unsustainable because I didn't see the kids. Like, I saw the kids in the morning, and then when I got back at night, I managed to kiss them goodnight, but they were both asleep. And then you end up sitting down at 7:30. It's like, if someone is in that job and someone turns around to me and go, well, I do that all the time. Like, find another job. Like, find something else. There's no way you can sustain that routine and not see your kids. Like, do you know what I mean? We're here once. We have the ability to create the life that we want. But if you're in that position, like, you can change it just as equally as you can create it. And I think the flexible planning patterns allow you to reduce the amount of stress that you're putting on yourself. I think, I've done this myself. I put myself under monumental amounts of pressure by sticking to a set structure sometimes. Sometimes there has to be flexibility in there. And that has to come with an element of, don't overthink it. Don't stress out. Like, if you need a little bit extra, take a little bit extra. if you just want to take a day off, take a day off. Do you know what I mean? But you've got to show some common sense in terms of, like, if you're on a project at something at work demands more of your time and energy and focus, then you've just got to communicate with the wife and saying, I'm going to be really busy this week. I think mostly, in part, it's just about being in control about where your time and energy and focus is going. And this is what we were discussing about. It's like, as long as I'm in control of it, as long as I'm aware of it, as long as I know what I'm doing, then you can be really productive. You can be really focused, really hungry. You can get the balance right. And it is just a juggling act sometimes, especially if you're ambitious and you're driven. If you're a working professional and you're driven, you know, and you're looking for that hunger. Like, I love working. I love getting amongst building a business. I love getting amongst building everything. And sometimes I feel like, man, I want to do more. I want to nail this thing that I'm trying to do. I want to nail this project. I want to put on more seminars. And I think it's really important. And I think it just really, if anything, if you like this, maybe there's that permission for you to go, yeah, don't beat yourself up because you're not sticking to a rigid routine. You know, don't beat yourself up because for a couple of nights you're getting back late because you're working on a project. You know, that's what I'm doing. I'm working on this project. I needed to get it nailed before I went on holiday, so we have to do the extra work. Talk to the wife. This is what's happening. She's cool. Kids are cool. I'm going to be spending 2 weeks with them solidly on holiday. So that's where my balance lies, right? So I hope that kind of helps with your own routines and your own mindset and the emotions and your behaviours and your actions that you have towards your planning. It's important. Like, when you start at the start of the week, do your planning. If you need a little of extra time, then take that little extra time. Don't beat yourself up, I think, is the key that I want to say. I just want to say thank you as well to everyone that's been watching the show. I can see the algorithm's gone back to normal now. Like, we had 200-300 people at one point, and that's just the Facebook algorithm. It's like this big cycle where it suddenly opens up to more people, and then they go, no, we'll go back to the way it was. It's just, honestly, behind the scenes. But for those that keep showing up, I really appreciate you showing up and you being here. Hopefully some of you are coming up to Birmingham. Obviously the early bird tickets close Sunday night if you're on that waiting list. If you're not, you can still get on it because I didn't take the link down. But I look forward to meeting some of you face to face. Next year we're going to do more face to face meets, mentor days, seminar days. We're going to try and get out there and meet some of the people. And I think it's been a really great year so far. It's been lots of learning for us. We've changed lots of things, and it's just that constant evolution of what we do. But you know, this show has stayed strong since the start, right? Even before it was the Rise to Thrive show, it used to be called the Morning JB show, and we stopped the Morning JB show at 250. And then I went back to 0 on the Rise to Thrive show for some reason. So in theory, we've done about 660 shows since I've been working online, and I've seen lots of people come and go. And it's just one of those things that is ingrained into my life in terms of it being just a part of my morning routine on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I can always feel when I need a holiday because they're always the last Rise to Thrive show. I'm always exhausted. Like, I was just saying to my friend who I'm walking out with, I'm just like, I have to put my game face on for this one because I am wrecked. So I'm looking forward to downtime. I've scheduled loads of content for you guys over the next week, so you've kind of got something to keep you amused. And the week after, and then we'll get back to show 21st. Until then, have a great August, have a great summer, have a great time, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.